Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. That was a little high-pitched. Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video, we are going to go over, notice that there are no cast-in-place anchor bolts. We are going to show you how we're going to fasten our mudsill with 5/8 by 8-inch Simpson Strong Tie Titan bolts. These are heavy-duty screw anchors. Our engineer gave us the okay to use these. This job was going to allow us to track costs to see if it pencils out. Okay, so let me just show you the basic way that we start. I have already laid out all of the mudsill for doors, windows, and studs, point loads, etc. Okay, so on this project, we got the approval from the engineer to use Titan HD, these are high-capacity screw anchors, in place of cast-in-place anchor bolts. I'll explain a little bit later why it is that we wanted to go that route, but here's the process for installing them. That's not gonna work. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Seriously? As you can see, I'm having some technical issues. So it's just the way that it goes. And I'm not done with the technical issues. You know, there's just a little lock on the side, and for some reason, anyway. Okay, 5/8 by 8-inch Strong Tie Titan anchor bolts. Because all of my layout is done, I went ahead and drilled into the mudsill, not all the way through, but part way with a wood cutting bit because it saves time. These Diablo rebar cutting bits, which is all I use. By the way, I am not aiming for rebar because we placed the concrete, we could move the rebar out of the way. I don't want to cut rebar. But on the off chance that I do, that's the only bit that I use. Anyway, here's the timing for the first hole. Well, technically second hole, there's one in the foreground, but that one I filmed using my cell phone so that I could post it straight to Instagram. I'm gonna do this to a few of these bolts. Also, next time I will be wearing a dust mask. Like that little Makita blower there in the foreground is pretty slick. Anyway, you don't wanna breathe silica dust. 3 bolts total that I'm showing you the timer. And that's so that you as the viewer can make an informed decision on if it, how much time does it take? Is it enough time or too much time? Not enough time. It always takes enough time. Is it too much time? You need to be able to judge for yourself if this is a process that you want to go through. For us, this is our new standard, and I will go through that here in just a little bit, why that's the case. I'm just bottoming out these bits. If you drill like an inch deeper than the length that you need, you don't have to blow out the holes. Like I mentioned, we don't want to be breathing silica dust, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let me just explain how this all pencils out for us. In the previous video, I snapped out and then shot all of the mudsill down with that max high pressure concrete nailer. That means I can put everything on the line and I can go fast just like I was using a nail gun into wood. Still having trouble with that, with the little vacuum attachment. Now I can do my layout so that no bolt will ever land under framing. I save time by not laying out my bolts and installing anchor bolt holders when we place the, right before we place the concrete. So once we're done forming and we're braced, we're done. I don't have to go through and lay out for the bolts. When we come through with mudsill, we don't have to lay out for bolts. So the time that we save on both ends more than makes up for the time, again, you don't want to be breathing this dust, more than makes up for the time spent drilling, as long as you don't hit rebar. Because we do our own foundations, I can make sure that the rebar is out of the way. So on average, it takes less than a minute to drill per anchor bolt. So if I have 50 anchor bolts, that's roughly 50 minutes, slightly less. And I'll show you here in just a moment how fast the Titens themselves install. Now, the fact of the matter is that the Titan bolt itself is more expensive than anchor bolts. If you buy them in bulk online, you can get that price low, and maybe you can do that locally wherever you are. When it's all said and done, we feel that even though the material cost is higher, the lower labor cost offsets that material cost. It also means that we never have to cut off any bolts and then re-drill for bolts because something landed at a point load. Again, that works for us because as the framers, we're also the foundation guys. Or you could say, as the foundation guys, we're also the framers. Some of the other benefits are that it's easier to get the top of that foundation wall flat because we don't have to trowel around or mag float around any of the bolts. Now, I would still cast in place hold down bolts, and that's it. Oh, and also U for ground. One thing I like to do is I don't want a pouch full of these 3x3 bearing plates. That's what our seismic code requires. That mudsill in earthquakes, if you use standard round washers, it will split out, but the bearing plates help to distribute the load. I am not an engineer. That is a conversation I've had with our engineer, okay? So for production, what I like to do is go put all the bearing plates and the Titens in place, and then I can come around and install them all. That way I'm not fumbling for them in my tool bags. This is the Dude Tools deep socket. It is not cheap. I think we've had this thing for 15 years or so. Probably look it up on Amazon. But it's perfect for driving. So basically, come on, Timmy. So this, so I'm gonna use a very large, Okay, I'm going to use an impact wrench and a Dude Tools deep socket. We've had this thing for, I don't know, 15 years. We make everything 5/8 because this is not cheap. So buy once, cry once. We go with all 5/8 primarily because of the Dude Tools. It all looks a little overkill, doesn't it? The deep socket is for those other times that we've needed a deep socket. That's why it's like 60 bucks US, or at least that's what it was, 15 years ago when I bought it. We now use only hardware that will fit that Dude Tools, and that way we don't have to buy another one. So you could argue, I don't know, you could argue a lot of things. We are way overkill when it comes to foundation anchorage, because instead of a 1/2-inch bolt every 5 feet, we're a 5/8 bolt every 4 feet, which our engineer says is great. He loves it. As I drive these, and we do want that higher torque impact wrench, I just hold that washer so that it's nice and square. I don't want it oblong. Sometimes, if it's on a 45, as an example, maybe a framing member is close to that. So anyway, some people have told me their engineers want them rotated so they look more like a diamond. I'm making them nice and square and parallel because I like the way that it looks. That's it. That's all. Okay, let's go over some basic layout. So we're down here in the basement. We have already snapped perfectly square using the laser, and all of our exterior mudsill has been set. But I want a reference point downstairs that I can use for layout. So I have this here, this wall. I'm not going to go to the plan number. I'm going to go to what actually, because I probably cheated something. So see how the inside of the 2x6 wall turns to 2x4 all the way through to the back? So here's how we do that to adjust if we've already adjusted. If that makes sense. Like, give me a good 6 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you look best at.
Well, some would say 30 feet. Okay, so this line is what we just showed on the plans. I have 199 3/4. Let's go over here, Noah. From up above, that is 199 3/4. I plumbed down and we've already snapped through. Okay, so now what I want to do, since I'm snapped through, is I'm going to use the laser plumb bob up, because I'm about 4 feet, 3.5 feet up. Let's see if we're at that 199 3/4. Okay, so I am at 199.9. So I don't know if you can see that. So no, what's 199 3/4? What's the difference? 3/16. Okay? So now I know that this line is essentially parallel to that. The 3/16, I'm not surprised out there, and I'm not going to sweat that. Now I have a reference point that I can go everything else parallel to without having to get a laser plumb bob out for everything else. Did you show the laser? Okay. Better. And let's just, for your purposes, let's always go to the line, closest to that line.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 100 and 3/16.
All right.
Go ahead and let's go. Let's go here. 100 and 3/16. Go ahead and let go. I'm going to add 5.5. And we'll just stay in the same rhythm.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you have 5.5 on the side?
I do not. I don't, man. I don't. And then we'll see how well the plumbers got their pipes in. It's looking pretty good to me. Okay, and remember, which one are we always doing first?
One closest to the side.
Giddy up. Here, I'm going to go on this side.
All right, you good?
I'm good. All right, up and over.
Are you good?
Yeah, no, I mean, those pipes, look at that. They're basically centered. And that one too. So we're fine. The tub trap gives them quite a bit of room. So we're just going to leave that as is. Okay, and so the next one, you tell me what we want next.
We want, I can't read what that is, but this wall.
Yep, exactly. So I already laid it out up above. So I'm going to go ahead and plumb it. Okay, I have 169, 169, and 1/2.
Okay.
And that is outside to it. We're going to go all the way to this wall. 169.5 outside to it. Go this way. You want to stay parallel with me? Yep. 169.5 outside to it. Go ahead and let go. I'm going to go plus 3.5. So this is our wall. It comes all the way through and has that doorway. So now I'm going to go square off of this.
All right. Good?
Yep. Und next.
Good.
All right, dog. So now, because I want to make sure that we're parallel. It's because I snapped this all out by myself way back in June.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Okay. So what I'm going to do. All right, so what is that? 164.25?
Yeah.
All right, 164.25. Let's go check it. I don't know.
It was like that.
And it needs to split.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you know, we basically want the corner.
Okay.
So what was the number?
It was 164.25.
That's what I had.
I remember the number. 164.25.
Aha, man, that's awesome. So the way I did this is I set up the laser. I measured some random number, whatever it was. I came down below and burned on the laser dot, and then I marked what the actual plan number was. Okay, so what that means is that we can use this wall as our reference point.
That's good.
So let's always turn this off since it's green.
Yeah.
I do have a load of batteries.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so in order for us to do this hallway, we can go off the plans. So see how he's got a door? It's a 2/6 door. We're going to make this hallway what he shows. So what should the hallway be as an inside dimension?
4 foot.
4 foot. So now, if you go, let's see, you can't do that, darn it. We can't pull that through. Okay, here's how we're going to do that. So I'm going to go I'm gonna butt and go 4 foot
Okay.
and 4 foot 3.5. Now, if you hold my chalk line, like, I don't know, back there, we're just gonna essentially extendo this.
So like right here?
Yes, exactly. So how are we looking right there?
Oh, I'll hold on to the top.
And I'm holding it high.
Yeah.
That looks good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mark that. I'm gonna check it with my square. Looking good?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll this up. Now I'm gonna mark 4 foot and 4 foot 3.5. And you want to, let's check this. Grab the laser. We'll come right to here. This time it'll be 164.25 minus 5.5.
You want me to be splitting it, right?
Yeah. Let's see, and you're over just a little. So 164. So what do we have?
This way. 159 and 158 and 3/4.
158 3/4. Okay. What is that? So if I go 164.25,
Minus 158 and 3/4.
I'll just go minus 5.5.
Oh, okay.
158 3/4. So we're like 2 to the 16th. So this is taking a little longer than normal. That's okay. Laser goes off. I'll mark 4 foot for that hallway. And then we'll check this wall. I think this wall has to be a 2x6. Nope, it's 2x4. So here's how I do it, Noah. Is I'm going to put my tape. I hold that with my index finger, and before I release, I hold it with my other one, and I lock my tape. See, it hasn't moved. So I'm going to go 4 foot, 4 foot 3.5. Good?
Yeah.
Next. Giddy up. Okay. I always like to have everything clean so when we snap we don't hit rocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the stairway wall.
Where's is this?
So there's the stairs.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So what we want is this wall to be dead center on the stairs. Okay, I have 105/16. So that would be 50 and 2 strong. And that's a center mark. Let me double check it. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1 3/4 each way because that's a 2x4 wall. And then I'm going to take a new number off of this guy. Which one did you hold it on?
That one.
Okay, hold me there. So I have 48 3/8. Let's go way down here because this wall goes all the way through to here. Grab it, man, grab it. 48. Did I say 3/8?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and let go. I'm going to go 3.5. Now let's snap this guy all the way through. You like it?
I do.
I like it a lot. Okay. Now, is we're going to make a portion of that 2x6. So, looking up, right kind of where I'm at is the top of the stairs. Can you see where that's at?
Is that the top?
Nope.
Or that's the top.
Nope. See where the refrigerator is? Right there. That's the top.
Okay.
Okay, so he gives us that number off of the plans. Okay, so here's a simple way to do this. See this 4 foot? That was our hallway, right?
Yeah.
So if I go from the inside of the hallway, 8'7", we're going to call that outside to inside. And the reason I'm calling it outside is because when it turns the corner, that's the outside corner.
Oh, okay.
And then this is inside or to the wall. So we're going to go 8'7" outside to inside.
Yes.
So from this line. Okay, 8'7" outside to inside or outside to it, and then plus 3.5. And let's go do the same thing. Technically, it's just right here in the middle. You're on the same line?
Yeah. There's only one line. Or
Good. 8'7" and 8'10.5. Okay.
it'd be impressive if I was on a different line.
So that means now that if I go 3.5 here, we can snap that guy and we can snap this guy. So let's do this one first. Like it?
Yeah.
Okay, and let's go do this guy. And let's do, yeah, closest to us. And next, I'm going to snap twice. Okay, so that guy should have gone longer, but it's going to work out.
Okay.
Yep, so just as a general rule of thumb. Now this guy, Noah, is mostly opening. So what we just did is we snapped this line, and we just snapped that line.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to snap this parallel line, and it goes to the beam.
Yeah.
So it's 16'6" outside to center. So we can get, this is one I definitely want to show. So from the back of the house, I have 16'6" outside to center of my beam. So I'm just going to set this reasonably close. And I'm going to put a mark on the floor in case I bump it. Okay. Now it doesn't matter what that number is. And here's why. I want to say parallel. So I'm hooking the back, keeping it parallel. Okay, I have 207/16. 207/16. So I'm going to, so I have 207/16, but my beam is at 16'6" to the center. Oh man, I had that almost like right on the money, just by eyeball. Okay, and I think that's a 6x6. So we're gonna have to lay that out through there. In fact, if you want to film this, Noah, then I'm gonna go, that's an inside, I have 36.25. Let me come right here. 36.25 plus 5.5. 2x6 wall. Giddy up. Okay, let me see here. We actually have a couple point loads.
What are the point loads?
Point load is the column that holds the beam. So imagine that your beam goes like this, and it has two columns under it. That's a point load.
Okay.
So think of like a stiletto shoe. You can show this. So think of a stiletto shoe as a point load versus, flat wedge soles or skate shoes.
Yeah.
So my load is distributed over both of my feet as opposed to just on a stiletto. So the force there is a lot bigger, and that's why stilettos will like dent a hardwood floor, but cowboy boots might not.
Huh.
Okay. So now what I have to do is find this load, which is from upstairs. So that means that's a closet. Okay, let's go ahead and put that back on the pole. And we'll just face it this way.
Jump.
All right, dude, so upstairs, we're 16 foot from the back to the center of the ridge beam.
Okay.
So I've already marked 16'6". So what I can do is, let's just say that's 2'6". So really, at 2 foot is the center upstairs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, I guess the other way to do it is just go,
Yeah.
if that's 16'6". So there's center of our ridge. And then we need a number that corresponds. See, this is what is so annoying. All of these stupid numbers, all you had to do is give us this number.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 4'8" from this 2x6 wall, which actually lines up with the garage.
Wait, so you want this one?
Exactly. So downstairs, this is the garage. You know how I know that? Because there's the garage, and then we have both sides of the stairway. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So if we go 4'8", butting the garage,
Okay.
then that's going to be, so really, so I'm going to line it up. So 4'8", and that was 2 it, right?
Yeah.
So plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And let's do it here. 4'8".
Is it 2x6 wall?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Yep, because that point load was a, it's a 6x.
Oh, okay.
So now, if I burn 2 3/4, that puts me back to center. Remember that was the 16'6". So now if I just come 6 inches back, that's the center of that post.
Yeah.
We're going to get way too many lines here. This one technically just hides in this wall. So let's do this. We're going to make this wall 2x6. Let me mark it here. This is why we didn't snap that line. So we're going to make it 2x6, but only to here.
Okay.
So 5.5.
For the point load?
Yeah, basically just to hide. I want to hide this,
Yeah.
and then I have the other point load is there. So we're going to snap that one through. Let's do that first.
Okay.
And let's do let's do the line closest to me. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
And then the back one or the...
That one, yep.
Okay.
Am I doing that right?
Why is there
Yes.
2 right there?
I'm pretty sure that's right. Okay.
That looks right.
Let me double check. I don't know. Oh, it's because that one was the laser dot. So you're right. We need to go to that one.
Okay.
Good call, Noah. Good call. Okay. That looks better. I'm just going to scribble this.
Yeah.
Because when I come through to plate everything, that's where it's going to start to get
Yeah.
a little funky Cole Medina. Right here. So what I'm kind of thinking, Noah, is let's just make this real simple for ourselves. 2 3/4, 5.5. And then this is a rather large linen closet. So what do I have? Let's go. Go ahead. Yeah, you got 5.5. Let me mark 5.5. Let's snap this guy. Should have been that guy.
Good.
Okay, so that'll be a 2x6 wall. And then we also need to make this one a 2x6 wall. Oh, even that doesn't work with this pipe. Yeah, I'm going to make that too. Let's just do it. Yeah, because I'll butt that guy. So let's do this. I'm going to go 5.5. And then you would go 5.5 here. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. So let's go center to center. So inside to inside. I have 46 1/4, so 23 1/8 is center.
26 1/4 or 46 1/4, you say?
Yeah, so 23 1/8.
This one's a 16th longer.
Okay, so just off of that, we'll just go parallel. Go 20. Here, I'll just give you these numbers.
Yeah.
Go ahead and mark 21.5.
21.5.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Hold on a sec. And then add 3 1/2 to it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go closest to me. Okay, now the last thing to do is we have our point load. I'm going to go 6 inches and 5 1/2. And I'm not going to need to mark that other end. So let's go ahead and snap these two. Okay, right there. Okay, so the point load itself, nope, right here. Remember, because that was our 4'8".
Oh, okay.
And we've got our 6x6 measured there.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, that is all of the walls. That's all of the walls. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to do it at the same time.